Car and motorcycle races are popular in Istria and Kvarner. This part of Croatia is known for its stunning natural beauty, making it an ideal location for these activities. Nestled on the Croatian coast, in the mountains above the city of Rijeka, is the Automotodrom Grobnik. Previously home to the stars of the motorcycling world, but after being mostly neglected by international racing, it is now starting to re-establish itself to a wider audience. While racing in Kvarner area has a long history, the FIM finding that the Opatija street circuit was simply too risky that sparked an intense rush to create a permanent circuit. The death of Ulrich Graf and Giovanni Zigiotto, as well as 19 other rider injuries in 1997, proved to be the final straw, and road racing was fully removed from the 1978 World Championship season. In fact, the Yugoslavian Grand Prix promoter had received a warning from the FIM before the 1997 Yugoslavian Grand Prix race that the event would be cancelled if they didn't improve the safety of the circuit. Consequently, the Yugoslavia president ordered the construction of a new circuit on the outskirts of Rijeka in order to continue promoting the gorgeous Kvarner Bay. The local motor club stepped up, designing a new course and constructing the circuit in about 2 months in the early summer 1978. The new race course was built on Grobnik, a sport airfield 10 km north of Rijeka, following strict international standards, and soon became known as Grobnik Beauty. The rapid pace of construction was aided by the use of prisoners and the army. The asphalt utilized was extremely high in grip, especially in wet, and has shown to be quite long-lasting. Despite many doubts, the 4.1 km circuit was opened on 40th September 1978 and was in fact completed in time to host the Grand Prix on 17 September as the last race of the season, but without the 500cc class taking part. In the first race, many well-known riders won, including Spanish Ricardo Tormo in the 50cc class, Angel Nieto in the 125cc, and Australian Greg Hansford in the 350cc and 250cc classes. Overall, the first event was a tremendous success. Despite the more modern surroundings, which lack the obvious hazard from the street signs and mountain cliff, the circuit is still far from unanimous, especially as the track surface continues to deteriorate. Therefore, riders need to be extremely cautious. The first tragic accident at this circuit occurred in 1981, when Frenchman Michel Rogerie fell during the 350cc race. He got up from the ground, but as he tried to walk away from the track, he was hit by his teammate Roger Sibille at full speed. Rogerie was hit at the chest and died instantly on 31st May 1981. 2 years later, on 12 June 1983, Swiss Rolf Reitemann crashed at the left-handed bend in front of the pits during the 125cc race. Not only that, 3 riders, Niall Mackenzie, Freddie Spencer, and Sharon, were injured during testing in 1987. A year later, the legend Anton Mang would suffer a serious injury in the collarbone, ending his career immediately. Regardless of high number of accidents, the Grand Prix racing continued throughout the 1980s. The circuit witnessed a rivalry between 2 riders, Australian Wayne Gardner and American Eddie Lawson. The 2 rivals shared 4 victories in 4 years from 1985 to 1998. Meanwhile, an unusual situation unfolded and politics intervened. In 1985, Mario Rademacher of South Africa was denied entry to Yugoslavia due to political reasons. 3 weeks before the Grand Prix event, Italian Eros Manfredini was killed during European Motorcycle Championship on 27 May 1990. Then, in 500cc qualifying for Motorcycle Grand Prix, Frenchman Christian Serron crashed hard and was rudely pulled off the ground by track marshals, which brought complaints from riders that the race organization was unprofessional. Things only got worse after the races started the next day. First, the 125cc race was red flagged after a first corner collision, which was allegedly caused by the practice of flashing straw bells on the inside of the corner to mark the pit exit. One rider clipped them, causing a domino effect for the riders behind. Later, during the 500cc race, Sito Pons lost the front end of his Honda on the exit of a right turn, causing Pier Francesco Chile to hit the fallen riders and launch into the air. Both riders suffered injury that forced them miss multiple races. Much worse tragedy happened in the 250cc race. Rain began to fall 2 laps from the end, and there was general confusion because the red flags were not waved around the circuit. Some riders, including last place Darren Milner, who replaced Wilco Zielenberg after a crash during practice, began touring back to the pits while those at the front of the race continued. He was moving at an unusually slow speed when the German Reinhold Roth hit him. Milner and Krivel were both injured, while Reinhold Roth was airlifted to a nearby hospital. Roth was in coma for 2 months and suffered brain damage as a result of being deprived of oxygen while lying injured. It was one of the darkest moments in the motorcycle championship's history. In May 1991, the political situation in Yugoslavia was devastating. Although the European Cup race in Opatija continued, but the Yugoslavian Grand Prix in June was cancelled and replaced by Spain. Following the war, the circuit became a part of a newly independent Croatia, and racing resumed. Albeit a lack of funds to invest meant that international racing stayed away. But notable events such as the Italian GT in 1997, Austria F3 Cup in 1999, and World Sidecar Championship in 2005 were held there. As finance improved, allowing money to be reinvested on the aging facilities, and the circuit was resurfaced for the first time in 2017. Rijeka circuit also hosted NASCAR Willian Euro Series as a late replacement for Autodrom Moss due to pandemic in 2020, and remained on the calendar until 2022. Automotodrom Grobnik represents the evolution of motorsport in Croatia. Grobnik, which was originally built to replace the dangerous Opatija street circuit, has carved its own place in racing history. Today, with efforts to modernize and appeal to a wider audience, the circuit prepared to restore its place as a historic and iconic venue in motorsport.